We've talked a lot about resorts in Riviera Maya, Mexico over the years, but we've never discussed the area in depth and all the things you should know before visiting. Hi guys, Vanessa here and welcome to Passport Pages. And today we're taking an in-depth look at that very popular stretch of coastline from just south of Cancun all the way to Tulum, which is filled with resorts and vacation spots popping up more than ever. And while millions of visitors book stays on these beaches each year, a lot of us don't take into account what a big area it is and how much there is to consider and plan for before your stay. So stay tuned as I give you all my best possible tips and complete vacation guide to staying in beautiful Riviera Maya. So first mistake you should avoid is driving after dark. And I'm not going to be one of those people fixated on the danger as far as safety concerns and all that. That's been covered plenty, even in my resort reports. So this is actually for those of you considering renting a car to explore the area, which is fine, especially during the day. But just know that many of the area roads can be very poorly lit and it's hard to see, which is especially dangerous when so many areas have pedestrians crossing the road. And this even applies to main roads as well, believe it or not. Roads like Highway or Carretera Federal 307 can get very dark once the sun sets. The other factors to consider are how fast the locals drive, which can be a bit overwhelming when you're driving in a foreign country and don't know where you're going. Plus, ironically, despite the speedy locals, there are many speed bumps called topas, which are scattered everywhere, and they can, at the very least, pop a tire. So again, not discouraging you from exploring on your own by any means, but just know, unless you're really familiar with the area and all the local roads, it's best to stay off them after dark. The next mistake that a lot of visitors make is booking popular attractions, wait for it, that may not be right for you. So this is definitely the most complicated, kind of learn by trial and error mistake on my list, but usually people just look for the most popular attractions, read a couple of reviews, and if they're rated well and on budget, not too hard to get to, then you just go ahead and book them. But because the area is so large and tourist-driven, you have a lot of variety in attractions, and even resorts for that matter, that appeal to different types of visitors. And what might be a crowd pleaser for some won't be fun for others. So more specifically, if you're traveling as a family, they have amazing eco-adventure theme parks to choose from, the absolute best. So check out Zelha or the most famous Xcaret. I call them the Disney parks of Mexico, and families love the zip lining, snorkeling, river tubing. It's all a great time. Now, if you're traveling as a couple, that probably won't be your thing. It may, but maybe you're looking for options without so many kids. So I suggest exploring the incredible ruins. The area has some of the most amazing spas, especially at the Mayakoba properties. And this doesn't get much attention, but Riviera Maya also has some of Mexico's best haute cuisine with very high-end dining, perfect for some incredibly romantic meals. Now, if you're a solo traveler, this area is perfect. Whether you're looking for a health and wellness retreat, head to Tulum. The beach Tulum has great morning yoga. And then at night, head out to party in Playa del Carmen, where you'll find plenty of bars, restaurants, and nightclubs right in the center of town along 5th Avenue, where beach clubs are big. And then lastly, if you're looking for adventure, there's no better spot with the second largest barrier reef in the world, great wind and kite surfing, the incredible ruins of Chichen Itza, as well as cenotes to explore. More on that later. So don't just book a popular attraction without taking into account the type of experience you and your party need and are looking for, or you just might end up being disappointed. Next mistake a lot of people make is visiting when everyone else does, and this is especially crucial in this area. So here are my tips. The months you want to avoid are December through February. While the weather is perfect, sunny and in the mid-80s, it's also when everyone is looking to escape the winter blues at the exact same time. So resort prices go way up, and so do the crowds. You'll especially see price surges during Valentine's and President's Day weeks in February. Now, if you really want to go during this time, and I get it, the winter blues are real, try to visit between mid-January through the beginning of February when crowds get a little bit better. Also, the first 2 weeks of December before the holidays aren't too bad. Now, in March and April, of course, you run into spring break, but I will say that spring breakers usually stick to Cancun, while you'll see mostly couples and families in Playa del Carmen and Tulum. Just know that Semana Santa, the week before Easter, brings a lot of local tourism, and the temperatures are a bit warmer than the previous months. So now, what do I think about the summer months? As far as weather, it's very hot and humid, which is why this is actually low season in the area. So it's like what I tell people about Disney. If you can stand 95-degree temperatures and thunderstorms every day, you're going to be staying pretty much crowd-free. And finally, fall in Riviera Maya is the rainiest season, as it's of course hurricane season. But temps are cooler, still humid, but cooler, and with the added gamble of hurricane season comes much better deals and resort rates. So there's no perfect time of year to visit. It all depends on your personal priorities, but just know, if you go when everyone else does, you'll be paying for it, literally and figuratively. Next common mistake: only visiting Playa del Carmen. So first of all, while there are some absolutely wonderful properties in this area, I talk about them quite a bit, unfortunately, that's made this a very popular and busy area, very touristy, with not a lot of authentic spots or experiences, which is a real shame. So while I'm definitely not telling you to skip the popular beach clubs and other popular places, what I am saying is do not skip other areas like the many incredible ruins all around the area, tours, and experiences. But the absolute best and most underrated area I suggest you check out is Akumal Beach, which is so beautiful, filled with lots of sea turtle sightings, just a very lovely spot that's worth at least a day trip. And after a day at the beach, you can enjoy a meal at some of the most unique dining settings, serving fresh fish and delicious seafood. And this is just the start of all you can enjoy in the area. The snorkeling is incredible, they have great day spas, animal sanctuaries, and nature reserves. And it's absolutely beautiful. So don't miss out on this often overlooked area in Riviera Maya. And as promised, the next big mistake is not doing your cenote homework. So the Riviera Maya area is home to quite a few of these really cool underground rivers known as cenotes, which were sacred to the ancient Mayans. But they're basically just giant sinkholes that have been naturally filled with water, and there are hundreds in the area, all very unique, and they've basically become tourist destinations. And depending on which one you choose, you can have a completely different experience, from a cave type of experience to a river-like one or even a pool type. So first, decide what type of experience you'd prefer. Also, make sure to bring special shoes. You'll encounter a lot of slippery rocks and mud, and some of those stairs that lead down can be very slippery, so the shoes really help. And the other thing that might catch you by surprise is how early they close, most by 5 o'clock, although you really don't need more than an hour or two, and most visitors tack it on to a tour of the local ruins. And I'll try not to gross you out too much, although I have talked about this in other videos, but the bats in some of the caves leave a lot of droppings, so beware. But something that doesn't get much coverage is the droppings are believed to have a type of spore-producing fungus that has gotten some people sick. So if this concerns you, I suggest skipping the cave-like ones just to be on the safe side. So I might not be doing a great job of selling it, but it is a really incredible experience. The color of the water, the rock formations all around you, even just being a part of something so ancient with an incredible history. Definitely not to be missed, but just make sure you're prepared. So now let's turn our focus to some assumptions and expectations a lot of visitors make. And the first one is assuming Tulum is something it's not. In the not-so-distant past, pretty recently actually, Tulum was a seldom visited spot with a dirt road and a handful of small shops. And then around 2011-12, it started attracting backpackers, and then after that, travelers who wanted to go someplace where they could completely unplug. And fast forward to now, it's one of the most visited places in Mexico, and no longer that quiet retreat. It's even become a very big party scene, maybe even more so in some ways than Cancun. And of course, like it always goes, with that increase in tourist traffic, you have an increase in prices. So hotels and resorts are going for much higher nightly rates than they once were. But I'm not telling you to avoid it by any means. Quite the contrary. The ruins are incredible and a must visit. Just try to visit early in the day to avoid the crowds, and if you're on a tight schedule, you can usually see everything in about an hour. Or try the Muyil ruins just off Highway 307, which are much less crowded. And even the hotels, and especially the spas, are very unique, and you can definitely have a very relaxing experience while staying on property. And there's yoga literally on every corner. Just know that once you start exploring the area, the secret's definitely out about this place. So definitely temper your expectations. And now to the biggest mistake people make when visiting the area: expecting pristine beaches. A lot of people get pretty shocked when they see the amount of seaweed, also known as sargassum, which covers the sand in the area. And I know the feeling. You feel deceived by commercials and perfect pictures and ads showing pristine white sand. But the fact of the matter is, it's a naturally occurring part of nature in the area, which has always been an issue. And you'll find that pretty much every beach in the area has this reddish seaweed scattered around the sand. And it smells bad too, so something else to be aware of. But the amount has definitely increased in the past few years, unfortunately making it pretty hard to avoid. I just wish more people talked about it so visitors wouldn't be so disappointed, which is why I'm letting you know before booking that next trip. So there you have my 7 mistakes that I've learned through trial and error over the years, and it's always my intent to give you the most honest and helpful content I can, so I truly hope this will help you in all your future travels. This is Vanessa for Passport Pages. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all very soon. Bye, guys.